It's sitting on my desk right now.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now. It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Look who it is. It's the Attorney General
of the United
herself.
States said the client list was on her desk. Yes, your desk also hung itself?
And now it doesn't exist.
It's such BS. And on top of that, there was the black book, right? The diary. Nothing's come out of that. They haven't said anything. What is that? There were all the notes in there, all the numbers, you know. Anyway, let's go through this article that we were forwarded, by the way, because I think this is a spectacular article, which emphasizes this point of like what they, the establishment, want you to believe, because this is such a fluff piece.
Oh dear.
That the moment we were forwarded this, I couldn't believe my eyes. That someone who wrote this, who's, by the way, the chief political writer of this editorial. It's called Spiked, the editorial. It's known to be libertarian, though I would question that. Does lean on the right, just so you know. But here we go. This is written by Brendan O'Neill, who I'm calling out, who's a complete turkey. Doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Let's take it apart.
Yeah.
He's the chief
The
political writer.
doom-scrolling community is not happy. From basement bedrooms across the US comes the muffled sound of huffing and puffing. Reddit is ablaze with the anger of digital hysterics who haven't seen sunlight in months. Why? The Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theory, that all-purpose fact-light morality tale about our decadent venal elites, is falling apart. What will the Epstein heads do now? Really nice way to put it, Mr. O'Neill. But we'll get to that. We'll just carry on and showcase his amazing assessment on this and analysis. No sooner had the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, and the FBI poked a very large hole in the Epstein story than the internet was consumed by fury and moaning. These officials have concluded that Epstein did not, in fact, have a client list implicating politicians, businessmen, and celebs in a vast Caligulan regime of sordid sex parties. And nor was he bumped off by some nefarious actor, Hillary Clinton, people say, while awaiting trial for sex trafficking at a correctional facility in New York. No, he really did kill himself. That's obviously being sarcastic. And just like that, the two pillars of this crazed fable have fallen down. For years, the internet buzzed with whispers about a list showing that everyone from Bill Clinton to Wacko Jacko to poor old Stephen Hawking partook of criminal debauchery on Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Pedo Island, people called it. When we see this list, this holy grail of establishment depravity, we will at last know the truth of the demonic forces that govern us, cried oddballs online. But there is no list. It was a figment of childish, unripened minds that can only conceive of power as something shady and sinister. And there was the Epstein didn't kill himself cry. There was a time when you couldn't browse the web without encountering some mad sleuth insisting that someone snuck into Epstein's cell and killed him. Why? To hide the list, to kill the truth, to protect the rulers of society from what Epstein knew, that they're all pedos. Yet it turns out the murder tale is bullshit too. Investigators have now released hyper-clarified footage of the area around Epstein's cell between 10:40 p.m. on 9th August 2019 and 6:30 a.m. the next day, when he was found unresponsive. And guess what? No one enters. Well, whoop-de-doo. The medical examiner was right all along. Epstein died by his own hand. Now, this carries on. I can't be asked. This guy's essentially full of bullshit because, as we just showcased, Pam Bondi herself, the Attorney General, just said that
said
the client
it
list
herself.
was on her desk. So yes, there was a client list. We're not
It
dumb.
existed.
Not only her, Maxwell Ghislaine stated there was a client list, and she would give the names.
Let me just say
Now,
that
here's
this
the-
article
yeah,
that he
go on.
wrote is like very satirical and like mocking in a way, and a bit. But like, if any word would characterize what he just said here, was he completely dismissed anything about it.
Everything.
And it's like
Everything.
It's like all these fucking politicians and everybody in the mainstream media, they're all dismissing this. Like, the only people who want like answers is like the everyday Joe, the actual people who are like looking a little bit further into this. It's not, it's not as simple as it seems. And also, like, a lot of news, like recently in the last couple of days, have been reporting that there's like a minute missing in the footage of the video.
But all of a sudden now they have
the time like he hanged himself.
But now they have hyper clear footage. All of a sudden, when the cameras weren't working and there was a minute footage missing too, and all of that shenanigans, now they have hyper clarified footage. Give me a break. I wasn't born yesterday, And also this author, he's correlating the fact that he unalived himself on the basis that he was trying to hide the client list. No, he didn't unalive himself. He was murdered. Why was he murdered?
Yeah.
Because here, newsflash, because we have historical and recorded cases of this too. This is exactly like with Diddy. This guy knew people. He was connected to people. If he talked, nobody heard a damn thing from Epstein the moment he was detained. All right? We don't even know if his lawyer heard anything. Hell, his own brother didn't even hear a thing. And guess what? His brother doesn't buy any of this shit. His brother doesn't buy any of it. That's his own flesh and blood. And if he talked, that's why they don't want him to talk. He talked. He lets out one name, one thing. The whole castle of cards comes crumbling down, because for a fact that yes, there are elite networks. There are elite people, from businessmen to politicians, connected to this. And we have the receipts, because obviously historically there have been a number of cases. The so-called fact that, he did this to himself, right? With a few shreds of orange fabric from his what was it? His prison overalls or whatever, tying it to the bedpost and then to the bars. There was actually a renowned. This is the cause of death. This is what they said.
Yeah.
Many say he was murdered by a well-known. Well, okay. Now, there is one thing I will say. I don't think Hillary Clinton did it. Obviously, that's just stupid.
Yeah,
that's just like people like trying to jump to conclusions and associating it to the the Clinton kill list
to what they want.
Right. But the point is, like, it is obviously more than clear that he was moved already from one cell because his life was threatened. All right, and then all of a sudden he was put on suicide watch, which was bizarre.
I think they also removed cellmate, but we don't know.
Yeah, who also thought things were getting a bit weird too, according to some testimony from him. But we do have, I think, where is it? If you scroll down to the evidence, renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden has stated previously that Jeffrey Epstein's injuries were consistent with homicide. And this is from the Law and Crime Network.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah. So this is a renowned forensic pathologist. This isn't just some like hobby forensic pathologist or someone who watches true crime. This is a guy who's worked for a lifetime He's well regarded, well respected.
Well, welcome back to the Law and Crime Network. I'm Linda Kenny Bonnet, and I am joined today by my very special guest. He's also a Fox News contributor, my husband, Dr. Michael Bonnet. Hi, honey.
Hello.
I'd
good
lean
to
over
see
to
you.
kiss you, but I think I may violate some kind of sexual harassment rules or something. And of course, the major investigative reporter for this network, chief investigative reporter. He's also chief legal. He's everything you can imagine.
I like this channel.
And also a wonderful person to learn from, Brian Ross. Hi, Brian. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for asking me.
Thank you. So, Michael, you had an explosive interview this morning on Fox and Friends where you revealed what your findings were about Jeffrey Epstein, whether it was a homicide or a suicide, or whether it was consistent with a homicide or consistent with a suicide. I just want to tell you, without you explaining, it was a more consistent with a homicide, Jeffrey Epstein's death.
More consistent, as from the information we now have, as a homicide.
And indeed, one of the things you're showing us, and has never been seen before, is a diagram and a picture from the autopsy report, which we have actually here on the screen.
Like
the
a
red
fracture.
arrows were added by me,
Triangulation, right?
by the way. Now, that was not the original. But it shows the fractures, the 3 fractures you discussed, 1 in the hyoid bone and 2 in the thyroid cartilage, if I get that right. And there you can see them. Look at them on the, and that's actually Jeffrey Epstein's hyoid bone on the right side of your screen, and the diagram of where the 3 fractures were on the left side of your screen. Could you show on Brian exactly where those are?
Yeah, the hyoid, the thyroid cartilage is the Adam's apple, and it sticks out more prominently in men. My finger's on Brian's Adam's apple. On either side of that are the 2 horns of the thyroid cartilage that were fractured, and above it, which you can't see or feel usually, is the horseshoe-shaped hyoid bone. There was a fracture of the left side of the hyoid bone and the left horn of the thyroid cartilage, and also the right horn of the thyroid cartilage. This usually does not happen in suicidal hangings because the ligature goes upwards underneath the mandible, the jawbone, which is the very tough bone, the jawbone, and doesn't fracture. And the ligature is often above the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage. In manual strangulation or ligature strangulation, when the rope is in the area of the thyroid Adam's apple, fractures can occur.
Okay, Michael, let me just stop you for a second, because I know that's a lot
It's all
for
very
us to take.
confusing, but still, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is it doesn't fracture necessarily.
Yeah, this guy has experience. I mean,
And he presents even new evidence in relation to new evidence where he, that's the second one here. There was like new evidence that came to light. So this is after this appearance that he had, where he talks about more in relation to new evidence, in relation to the forensic aspect.
It has been more than 5 months since Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell here in New York, and still many questions left unanswered. Famed pathologist Dr. Michael Bodden, who was hired by Epstein's family to look into the autopsy, is revealing new details from the investigation and the examination, and he joins us live. Dr. Bodden, good morning to you. You say that the answer to whether or not he killed himself could be in his eyes. Explain that.
That helps. That is, with hanging, when the loop comes up under the windpipe, under the mandible, there usually is not any kind of hemorrhages in the eye. With homicidal strangulation, because of the increased pressure, there are hemorrhages in the eye.
And when you examined the body, there were burst capillaries.
There were burst capillaries in the eyes called petechiae, and that's not conclusive, but that's greater evidence of homicide than suicide.
When you hang yourself, what about your lower extremities?
When you hang yourself, the blood, the lividity, the blood settles down to the lower legs, and you get maroon discoloration in the front and back of the legs.
Turns purple.
Turns maroonish purple.
Okay.
Yes, maroonish purple. And this was not present here.
What color were they?
They were normal color, normal pale color of the skin.
Hanging.
You know, people.
I mean, it wasn't a
this,
hanging
go,
anyway.
See, I told.
This is the most weird hanging in the world of hanging. Like, it's putting yourself in some bizarre, like, holster and then like pulling, like that in itself should indicate how ludicrous this is. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Like the whole scenario of how he did it, it doesn't even make sense to me. How would you even like tie the thing there and then you're pulling yourself? Like, what are you trying to do? Like straighten your neck? Like, I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense. And then, you know, here's the thing, because people love like making these claims of like, oh, conspiracy theorists, which by the way, the CIA developed that term when people were questioning the JFK assassination, which we all know was, of course, you know, involved with by themselves to just defame and debunk anybody who had questions. But I call coincidence theorists people who believe that all these really well-timed coincidences. Oh, the cameras shut off just on time. He figured out some bizarro way of doing this to somehow hang himself. On top of the fact that the two guards were sleeping or not there, and everything was so convenient. So I'm sorry, that's a coincidence theorist to me. That means that you're just going to buy all of these so-called coincidences, which is not probable. It's not even mathematically probable. I mean, let's be honest. What are we covering now? We need to take actually, we need to go, I think, for a break in a bit. But like we'll go in the next 15 minutes and we'll carry on with this topic. But yeah, there's so much more actually to cover with this because actually, there you go.
There's a lot more on this.
Yeah, the protocol of the failures, like why? So the fracture interpretation, which we just heard from Dr. Michael Baden, renowned forensic pathologist. The fractures are more frequent are in strangulations. The protocol failures, cameras malfunctioning, guards falling asleep. The so-called suicide watch ended, and the cellmate was conveniently removed. Perfect storm for screw-ups. You know, this is just like the JFK assassination. The car moved, it didn't go down the correct turning that it should have. It went down a different turning. There was no
also
cover.
Convertible.
Yes, there was less Secret Service than there should have been. They weren't checking the book repository and all that.
They didn't check the buildings beforehand.
All convenient for a perfect storm, and we're supposed to believe that. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break.
There was one guy who was set up, which was ready to take the fall.
Of course. Because he had previously spent time in the Soviet Union. Let's not forget that. And he was an asset who was actually working for the CIA and military intelligence at the time. But anyway, we're talking about Lee Harvey Oswald. But so that's why the debate persists. However, going back to that spiked article to whatchamacallit, Brendan O'Neill, he makes the correlation, obviously, that he did this because he was trying to hide the list. No, that doesn't even make sense. Why would he do that to hide the list? No, it was done to him so he wouldn't talk or rat out